Switzerland do not have young players. No. They have a mature side and one that has nothing to lose. Virtually, when you play Switzerland, what are you playing against? You have no idea. That's the danger. That's the threat. But we've got to go straight to England because everybody expects England to just fly over and walk into the final. Not so. They've been poor thus far. It's Bellingham and Kane that have brought them where they are. Will they take them all the way? It remains to be seen. Hello, welcome to Senior's Last Word. I'm Aldrin Nsubuga Senior, and Euro 2024 has reached that stage where it's make or break. England taking on Switzerland, Netherlands taking on Turkey. I'll begin with England, everyone's favorite. And people wondering what's been happening. Why have they taken too long to kickstart their campaign? They are in there, but what matters now is how they progress on after this time. Switzerland have had not a very smooth walk until now, but guys, you've got to watch Switzerland. They've never won the Euros, but you've got to watch Switzerland. I'll remind you, they eliminated France in 2020. They've played Italy and eliminated them in 2024. They can eliminate England. Switzerland, do not forget, they don't have that many players of standout nature, but they have players who, you won't believe it, have been there and they carry enough experience to take on England without fear. Remo Freuler, Ruben Vargas, Manuel Akanji, Ricardo Rodriguez, Embolo, Granit Xhaka. The key players in this particular team have also been there before. They were at the 2020 Euros and part of the team that did wonders there. They only lost once before eventually going out. This team is very, very good. Thus far, they've scored 7 goals. One of the teams that have proved to be good going forward. But beyond that, the manner in which they dismiss Italy is what should worry England the most. Italy were reigning champions, 4-time World Cup champions, 2-time Euro champions. Italy known to always get better during tournaments. They faced Switzerland, who from start to finish showed no fear. If anything, they literally controlled that game from start to finish. And this was a knockout game. The goals they scored, Ruben Vargas, the assist he gave before Remo Freuler scored the opener, and then later Vargas himself scoring a beautiful color. But it's the confidence for me. It's the organization of Switzerland. If I pick out teams at Euro that are very well organized, organization, both tactically and as a team, in Switzerland, they have a structure. Very difficult to break that structure. Switzerland have players like Rodriguez, that marauding left fullback. Very, very sound defensively, and when it gets into the play going forward, he becomes very dangerous. Veteran Granit Xhaka. He has his moments when he switches off, but this guy can score from any range. Very good at free kicks. He influences games. He passes, no longer having the speed that he used to. In fact, he no longer tackles as hard as he used to because he's aging. But his leadership, knowing when to do what, that's what Xhaka brings to this team. In the end, the Swiss will come because they also have a player like Manuel Akanji. He plays at the back, part of the back three. But Akanji doesn't stop at that. He gets involved in forward movement. He gets involved when it's time to attack. He brings the experience of Man City, working with a coach like, well, the great man at City, Guardiola. You have a mix there. Switzerland do not have young players. No. They have a mature side and one that has nothing to lose. Virtually, when you play Switzerland, what are you playing against? You have no idea. That's the danger. That's the threat. But we've got to go straight to England because everybody expects England to just fly over and walk into the final. Not so. They've been poor thus far. It's Bellingham and Kane that have brought them where they are. Will they take them all the way? It remains to be seen. Do we see an England side using its resources available, the players that they have, to influence this game to the extent of blowing Switzerland aside? They have Kane, the most experienced. They have Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden. They have Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham. They have Kyle Walker. These players have enough experience. They've been part of that setup for some time. They want to go all the way and be part of the setup that makes the difference. John Stones, Declan Rice, Kyle Walker, if you bring in the element of the goalkeeper, Pickford, I think the first point of strength for England, it's in defense. There's too much experience in defense. Guys that have played tournaments, guys that have played the league, guys that have been there on the continent. Stellar performances for the last 5 years. They are the ones who form the defense for England. They're sound from the back. That is the stability that England begins games with. As they move forward, you'll come across younger players, but players who have gained experience. Foden has gained games under his belt. Bellingham, for his age, games under his belt. Obviously, Kane, the leader of them all and most experienced and top scorer. So England are coming with weight on their shoulders, expectation. They've been poor. Do you think they are going to fly all over Switzerland? They've been cagey. They're fearing to give us their all. They possess and keep possession, but it's been negative possession. They're not creating enough. If England sits back and don't bring out their arsenal, there's a problem. Unfortunately for them, Saka is not firing yet. Phil Foden is not firing yet. Goals for England, we expect it to be Saka, who has 11 goals for England. We expect it to be Kane, who naturally is their top scorer with 65. A few goals will come from midfield, for example, Declan Rice. But Declan Rice is not being asked to go forward. Arsenal does give him that liberty. England doesn't. Foden is inhibited. He has just 4 goals for England, but he's inhibited, and yet he's on form, if we go by what he did last season. Saka, unfortunately, is a flop thus far. So how is England going to progress? By letting the game open up, by going for it. If they do that, there are players who can put away those free kicks. Players like Trippier, players like Bellingham. Do we have a chance to see Alexander-Arnold coming off that bench? Palmer, for example, if things change? If we do, the game is open. How do I see this one opening up? Switzerland, nothing to fear, very sound, good going forward, defensively sound. England have the potential, individual flair, they have the quality, but they're having a bad tournament. What they showed in their last game was that even when things are bad, even when they are suffering, they can find that odd goal. Maybe they can, if they're going to do that against Switzerland. If they're going to get long to get into play, they will suffer. Who do I see between England and Switzerland? I don't want to go with reputations. I'll go with what I see in this tournament. Just for the fact that they've woken up, I'll give it to England. And that's my last word.